Hey Flexy FeNOMs, I'm Summer Paradiso wearing a FeNOM Iron Eater shirt today, and I'm ready to guide you through a short yoga sequence to get into some truncal rotation as well as getting into the shoulders and the front chest area. So we'll go ahead and start in tabletop position. Wrists are under shoulders, knees are under hips. And if you want, before we start, you can grab blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use books. And if you don't have any of those, you can really make it without blocks. So from here, we have our toes tucked, and we'll drop the belly down on an inhale. Heart goes forward, gaze goes up, really feeling your belly melt towards the floor. And then pressing into the palms and fingertips, exhale, pulling the belly button up into the spine, tuck the chin. Again, inhale, drop the belly down, chest forward, gaze up. Exhale, press into the mat, round the upper back. And take it a couple more times here on your own breath. The inhale brings the belly down, and then the exhale, you press into the mat, round the upper back. Really feel the space between the shoulder blades as you press into the floor. And take one more round after this. Good. And then from here, we'll meet in a neutral spine. We'll take the right foot in between the hands, and you can adjust accordingly. Make sure that your right knee is in line with the right ankle or just a little bit behind. You don't want your knee in front of the ankle. And then we'll tuck the left toes under, take the hands to the knee, and then press your chest up. So from here, you'll want to make sure that you're pulling your belly in, lengthening your tailbone towards the floor, and then just slightly lean forward, feeling a stretch in the frontal hip here. Good. It helps if you squeeze your left butt cheek a little bit. That'll help you get a little bit more of a stretch into the left hip flexor here. And then keeping this position, you'll take your left hand down to the inside of the right foot. If it feels like it's too far, you can always take that block and place the hand to bring the floor up to you. Once left hand's down, inhale, reach the right arm up. Twisting here from the middle of the back, the thoracic spine, not twisting with your hips. So keep the hips square to the front. Reach that right hand up. Try and find some breath here. Really press the left palm into the floor. Reach up with that right hand. Maybe twist a little bit more, pressing the back of the right hand behind you. Opening the chest up at a diagonal up towards the ceiling. Good. Then from here, we'll take the right hand back up and then reach the fingertips up in front of you. Bicep goes to your ear, and continue to spin the chest open. Feet are still firmly pressing into the floor. You're twisting from the thoracic spine, and you're reaching with your right fingertips so that you can feel it in the right side body. And then we'll gently guide that right hand down. Let's take a little bit of a hamstring stretch, set the hips back, flex the right toes, and engage the right quadricep muscle here. Take a moment, maybe bow the head down. Always using the exhale to release the tension in your muscles. So if you feel like you're stuck up here, try and breathe, inhaling, and then exhale, see if you can release a little bit of the tension behind the thigh and allow yourself to move down. Then we'll slowly come back forward. Plant the hands, bring the right foot back. Take the left foot between the hands, and again, take that adjustment. Left knee is either in line with the left ankle or it's a little bit behind. Right toes tucked, and then hands press into the knee to help you come up. From here, belly pulls in, lengthen tailbone towards the floor. And then you can just continue to squeeze that right butt cheek and begin to hinge forward, opening up the front hip. Good. Collarbones are nice and broad. Try not to hunch into it. We want nice open chests. And then keeping the lower body the exact same, the right hand plants on the inside of the left foot, or you can always take that block down, bringing the floor up to you. Once it's planted, inhale, reach the left arm up. Again, really pressing the right hand into the floor, reaching with that left hand, And then twisting from the middle back, not rotating from the hips. If you feel good here, begin to press the back of that left hand behind you. Try and open the chest up towards the ceiling as much as you can. And notice here, if you've forgotten about your legs, you can squeeze that right butt cheek to help you stay intact and press that front heel into the ground. Left hand reaches back up, and then in front of you, bicep goes to the ear, reaching, feeling a stretch through the entire left side body, as well as spinning the heart open towards the ceiling. Still breathing here. And then left hand comes down, frames the foot, and slowly press the hips back, flex the left toes, engage the left thigh, and maybe you bow the head down. Again, notice here, if you do let the thigh go because you don't want to engage it, notice how when it's limp, when the thigh is limp, that you can't quite get down as far as when you engage the thigh, you can go down a little bit further. So just kind of be mindful of how that opens the hamstring up a little bit more. And then we'll slowly come back up, come to tabletop, bringing the left knee back, and then we'll come down to our bellies. And so from here, elbows come underneath the shoulders, the toes move down, and then notice that the palms are in line with the wrists, in line with the elbows, in line with the shoulders. So you're like a sphinx here. Forearms are parallel, hands are pressing down into the floor, and then you pull the floor towards you to open your chest and gaze forward. So a little bit of sensation in the lower back here. And then press the feet down into the floor, lifting the knees up. This feels a little bit too intense on your lower back, then you can inch your elbows forward. Hello, that's my cat. You can inch your elbows forward a little bit to bring a little bit less sensation. Good. So from here, we'll take the left hand, reach it out in front of us, and then we'll thread the right arm underneath us, and you'll just bring your chest over top of your bicep and then let your body weight move down onto the bicep and rest your head. If you feel like your head's really far up because you have pretty muscular arms, you can always take a block or pillow and just rest your head on the block. Good. As you're here, you'll take the left knee out to the side, lining it up with your hip. So I'll show you with my right leg. Bring it out to the side, line it up with your hip, but you're doing it with your left knee. So again, left knee moves out to the side, and then we'll take our left fingertips, gently guide them up and around. You'll come off your mat, that's okay. And then you'll open up to a spinal twist. So the left leg is across the body, and you'll take the right hand and just gently press on the left knee, enjoying this spinal twist here. Your goal is to get the left shoulder down on the ground. And then if the left knee is floating, that's totally fine. Just use your breath to try and release the tension in the spine here. Each exhale allows you to twist a little bit deeper. Maybe you gaze over those left fingertips. And sometimes I feel really crunched up in this pose too, depending on what I did for the day. You can always take your right hand on the left hip and press it away from you. That opens up the side body as well. And then from here, we'll go back the same way we came. So the left hand reaches back up over the head, traces back to the top of the mat. You're on your right arm. Return the left leg to be in line with the right. And then we'll press the left hand into the floor, lift up, unthread the right hand, and then switch. Left arm goes underneath the torso, and then drop the chest down, putting the entire body weight on your left arm. And again, you can either rest your head on a block, or you can rest it on the floor. You can always do the hair move as well. And just enjoy the weight of your body here on the front biceps, opening up the deltoids and getting a little bit of compression on the bicep. We'll take the right knee out to the side, line your knee up with your hip, and then we'll take the right fingertips, I'm gonna move my blocks here, and trace them up and over, and then you open up to the right. And so your right knee is across the body, and you can take your left hand to the knee to gently guide it down. But first try and ground that right shoulder down. So you might need to scoot the left shoulder over to ground the right shoulder. And again, use your exhales to allow you to twist a little bit deeper. It's really important to try and relax in some of these more passive poses, contrary to when you're lifting a barbell over your head. And again, if you feel crunched up, you can take the left hand, press the right hip away from you, finding a little more space in this right side body. And last round of breath. And then you'll gently graze the hand back up over the top of the mat. Body weight is back on the left arm. Return the right leg back down. Press into that right hand, lift the body up. And then we'll come back down to our bellies. Reach the arms out in a T shape and gaze over your right fingertips. Now from here, you want to look at your shoulder and your wrist. You want your wrist to be a little bit above your shoulder, so it's in like a half Y position. And then you'll turn your right cheek down to the mat. From here, left hand comes in front of your gaze, like right in front of where you're looking, and you'll gently press into the floor, move your body over to the right, and you have several options here. You can either take the left foot and place it behind you, taking a twist, or you can just bend the left knee and rest it down on the floor in front of you, hooking that back foot, and then just relax here. And so a little more intense version is taking that foot behind you and lifting the knee. And so here we're really getting into our pec major and pec minor. A way to intensify the pose is to take this right hand, walk it up a little bit so that your arm is in a goalpost shape, not quite all the way, but about half goalpost, and then see how it feels. You're going to get a little more intense of a sensation. And then you'll slowly release down. Bring the pelvis back center. You'll reach the arms out in a T shape. Gaze over the left hand. Make sure that the wrist is a little bit above the line of the shoulder. And then you'll gaze over to the right and then slowly place the hand in front of your gaze. Turn over onto the left side. And then from here, you can, again, either bend the right knee and rest it in front of you, or for a little more intense version, step the foot behind you and twist. You want your shoulder to stay connected to the floor. And you really do want to notice here, if you begin to internally rotate your shoulder, so stay in the pose, I'll show you. If you begin to internally rotate, having your shoulder rolled down, you're not going to get as much out of the pose. You really want to have your shoulder externally rotated. So just be mindful when you're on the ground. If you feel like your shoulder is starting to internally rotate, press your palm, your pinky side of your hand into the floor. That should help you open up a little bit and get more into the stretch. And then again here, if you want a little more intensity, you walk the hand up a bit, bending the arm so it's in about a half goalpost shape, and then you should feel it in the pec minor, pretty serious. This stretch is fantastic for ollie lifts. If you want to get into a good overhead position, for overhead squat, for snatch, this is your go-to. All right, slowly begin to roll out there. Again, take your time, don't rush out of these poses because sometimes your body can freak out. And then from here, you take your hands underneath your shoulders, we'll press to a tabletop position, and we'll just end with a child's pose. Take the big toes together, knees are out wide, and then set your hips back. Reach the hands out in front of you, and then just drop the head down. Let the hips fall back as heavy as they can onto the heels. And you can stay here for as long as you wish, resting the forehead on the ground. If you feel like you're a little bit more up like this and you want something to put your head on, you can always take a block and rest your head here. And then if you feel like you have congestion behind the knees, you can always place a blanket or something behind the knees so you feel a little more supported. So stay there as long as you need. You've finished your Flexy Phenom practice for the day, so I'll see you guys next week. Peace.